grew up with what I call a profound sense of shame. Here's how I differentiate between shame and guilt. I think guilt tells me I've done something wrong. But shame tells you you are something wrong. And what do you do with that? You find a place to hide. You find some kind of mask to make it possible to go on. Sometimes people will use drugs or alcohol. Sometimes people will use medication or even spending money. They think if I look better on the outside, I might feel better on the inside. I found the perfect place to hide. Christian ministry. I mean, think about it. I mean, who's going to come up to me and say, put that Bible down or we're going to have an intervention? Not likely. But God's the only one who knows whether we're serving out of pain or passion for Him. So I went to seminary, I eventually came to America, and I ended up as the co-host of the 700 Club with Dr. Pat Robison. Here's the truth. Inside, I was still the same scared little girl who wouldn't let anybody get close to her in case you saw what my dad saw. Do you know it's possible to be very well known and profoundly lonely? That's the amazing thing about the mercy of God. Jesus said, I've come to give you life, not just survival, not just getting through one more day. I've come to give you life. But sometimes His rescue plan is something we would never sign up for. At almost the same age as my dad, I'm interviewing a guest one day and I ask my first question and they don't answer the question. In fact, they turn the tables and say, you know, Sheila, you sit here every day asking us how we're doing. How are you doing? And she meant it kindly. But I wasn't ready for it. I didn't have time to pull up that wall. And I did something I hadn't done in years. I started to cry, and I couldn't stop. The TV guys, the camera guys were embarrassed. The studio audience was embarrassed. Eventually, they threw to a commercial break, and I walked off the set, and I locked myself in my dressing room. And as far as I was concerned, my life was over. If you've spent your whole life trying to prove to people you've got it all together, and you end up in a place that says you've definitely fallen apart, what do? So I called a friend of mine, a guy called Dr. Henry Cloud. And I said, Henry, I think I'm losing my mind. And he said, no, you're not, but you need some help and you need it quickly. So I went from literally being the co-host of the 700 Club in the morning. And by that evening, I was in the locked ward of a psychiatric hospital. But you know what I've discovered about the relentless mercy and love of God? Sometimes He'll take you to a prison to set you free.